Hey there, my name is Mark and I am an out bisexual guy. Today, I just wanted to give you a little flavor of what my life is like for any one of you who may be thinking about coming out or who might be unsure. So I am probably one of the most visible, outwardly bi people that you could imagine. I make videos about it. I wrote a book about bisexuality. I speak at bisexual conferences and lots of other things. So if there's anyone who knows what it's like to be kind of out there, then I guess it might be me. A lot of us bi people are not out, unfortunately. We're one of those identities that is the least likely to be out, and there's a lot of reasons for that. But primarily, I think it's because we can kind of exist just about in the hetero world, and we can assimilate. And that was definitely the case for me. I tried to live in that world up until I was 30. I'm 36 when this video was being recorded. And I managed to do it fairly well. You know, I am attracted to women and I'm not particularly queer presenting, and I was even less queer presenting then. And so, yeah, I could do it. And, you know, a lot of people do it, and it's okay. That's an important thing to say. You don't have to come out. It's not essential. But for me personally, I found that I was very anxious. I found that I couldn't quite do the things that I wanted to do in life. And I just always went around with this feeling that there was something missing. You know, I wasn't really being myself. And so when I came out, and I did it gradually, okay, it wasn't just one big flash in the pan thing. But when I did start that process of being more myself, which is basically what coming out is, I really, really loved it. And I kind of got addicted to that feeling. You know, there's nothing quite like being aligned with your authentic self. And that is really how my life is now. So my life right now, I always try to center it on my truth. Okay, that is the fundamental for me. I think when you've lived so long not being able to express your truth, it's something that I can't not do. You know, it's so important to me, and I fought so hard for it that this is really what I base my life on. And if I'm ever in a situation where I can't express my truth, or I don't feel like I'm aligned in my authenticity, I try to move away from that situation if I can. By the way, if anyone would like support with this, then you'd be very, very welcome. I provide one-on-one coaching. I also provide mentoring and group sessions and so much more on Patreon. So you can check out www.notdefining.com or patreon.com/notdefining. Don't struggle with this alone, okay? So every day I wake up and I ask myself a question, okay? And that question is, what is it today that would truly, truly bring me joy? Okay? And I listen both to my head and to my heart. Okay, so the logical part of me and also the instinctive part of me. And that's really, really important, because when I was not out, the logical brain part of me was really at the fore. So I was always thinking about, what should I do? Yeah, what would be sensible for me to do? Yeah, what are other people doing? Yeah, what's the norm? Right? I was overthinking all the time. Yeah, I was always in my head. So now that I'm out, I still think, obviously, that's important, but I always check in with my heart as well, with my gut, with my body. Yeah. And so I ask myself the question, what is it that would really bring me joy? And the result of that is that I live a life that I really enjoy. You know, I used to work in an office job 9 to 5, and actually over time I realized that that wasn't working for me. And so I started, my coaching, and I started my content creation, and I wrote a book, and, I'm now a public speaker and a public figure in the LGBT community. And it is such a wonderful life that I never thought I would be able to have, but here we are. And daily life for me has been an interesting journey. So I've started to present more in a so-called queer way. I have started to paint my nails a few years ago, which I truly, truly love. It was very scary at the start, going on the bus, going out on the street. I kind of hid them sometimes in certain situations, but now I love wearing them. It's just something that I really, really enjoy. Now, that's not to say that every bi person is going to go out and paint their nails. No, but that was something for me that I just really wanted to do, and I felt brave enough to do it, and now I love it. So I sometimes wear little representations of my bi-ness on my clothing. For example, this lovely t-shirt from the company Dark Yarn. Dark Yarn are wonderful. Some people wear a little badge. Sometimes I wear a badge. I like to have those little signs, mainly for other bi people, that I can say, look, I'm part of the community. That's really, really nice. The unfortunate thing, though, that happens, even though I'm very out and try to be very visible, is that my identity gets erased. And any out bi person, I guess, will probably relate with this. It doesn't matter if you fly a bi pride flag 24 hours a day in front of people's faces, they will still think that you are either gay or straight. Unfortunately, we live in a society where bisexuality is not really understood. It's still very kind of marginalized. And so whether I'm with hetero people or queer people, I will get comments being like, well, are you really bi? Or people will just kind of forget that I'm bi. Gay friends of mine, for example, will be like, oh yeah, you said you like a girl. Oh yeah, I totally forgot you were bi. I just assumed that you were gay, right? When I go into a queer space, it's often assumed that I'm a gay man, and so on. So it doesn't matter how visible you are, you will always probably experience some erasure, and that can be quite annoying. And those little badges or items of clothing can be really helpful in that regard. So I try to talk about it as much as possible. I try to kind of mention it, drop it into conversation wherever I can, just to remind people that this is who I am and this is important to me. Dating is really interesting because I guess you kind of have all of the choices. They say we have the best of all worlds. Well, you really, really do. And that can be nice, but it can also be quite overwhelming. I live with this kind of dichotomy. Am I going to have a family? Am I going to live that stereotype of what society expects of me? Can I have biological children with a monogamous partner? There's a whole kind of like life that I could have, which is expected of me. And that pressure is quite a lot. I feel that quite a lot. I will be honest. I feel that draw to that life. On the other hand, I could be with a guy, and that would kind of pigeonhole me into the gay box. It's tough. It's tough. It's a reality. I experience it. And I try to just, again, follow my gut, follow my heart, and just be me. One thing with dating that I have experienced, and a lot of bisexual guys will experience this as well, is that it can be a lot easier in certain ways to get with guys. Dating culture in the gay community can feel very different to traditional straight dating. And that's because I think there's a lot of casual connections in the gay and bi men dating scene. And so if I wanted to get with a guy, I could pretty much just do it immediately. That can just become the default. And what's interesting is that I don't actually have a preference for guys. It just feels sometimes like dating women is a lot more difficult. One great thing, though, that has happened since I've come out is that I feel so much healthier. I cannot describe to you how unhealthy and how unhappy I was when I was not out. When I came out, my skin got better. I slept better. My mental health was miles better. So I feel that I live a life that is healthier, happier, more aligned with who I am. I really enjoy my life. But of course, there are still challenges, there is still erasure. So those are just a few things about my life. Are you thinking about coming out? Do you need some support? As I said before, come and get coaching. Come check out my website, notdefining.com. Come and engage with other bi people and get support from me 24/7 on Patreon. There is so much support out there for you. I hope this has been helpful. Please let me know in the comments if it has, and subscribe because we've got loads more videos coming out. For more information on coming out, check out this video, and I will speak to you again very soon. Thanks for listening. Bye for now.